NHL obviously isn't immune to what's going on in the world. What are you hearing on the ground right now? What's the tea leaves looking like when it comes to the NHL season? I mean, are we talking bubbles? Are we talking schedule changes? Like, what's everything looking like as far as like we getting this season off to the right foot without any cancellations or any sort of hiccups like we've seen in other sports?
Well, before we get to bubbles and all that kind of stuff, we need to talk money. Every time I come on here, we're talking money all the time. It's my favorite subject, and that's the biggest hurdle right now the Players Association and the NHL is trying to overcome in order to get back on the ice. Now, it was collectively bargained before the return to play. The league and the Players Association agreed to freeze the escrow at 20%, and then the players would defer 10% of their money to give the owners an opportunity to catch their breath a little bit. But nobody anticipated the pandemic to be this bad. Even though the league had modeled worst-case scenarios, nobody knew. There's nobody in this planet that's gone through a pandemic before. So now, unfortunately, the commissioner and the league is going back to the Players Association and saying, hey, guys, I know we agreed on 10% deferred salaries. We want more. And, of course, the players are saying, whoa, what are you guys talking about? We already gave up our 10%. What do you mean you want more? Let's get back on the ice. So that's the issue that's facing hockey right now. But I really believe these deals always get done at the 12th hour. That's exactly what will happen, I think, with hockey. We'll see hockey come back after everyone comes to their senses and figures out the plan.
Okay, so Ace, Kaz and I don't know. Please enlighten us on how the Seattle franchise, as we understand it, could help alleviate this problem.
Well, they came in paying big money. Here we are talking money again. I see Kaz is wearing his green, so I know he likes that color too, right? So Vegas came in a couple years ago.
Man. You already know.
Right? Was $500 million. Now Seattle's coming a couple years later at $650 million. So what I was reading, Larry Brooks, the great Larry Brooks, Hall of Famer, New York Post, he put out there and said, hey, why not have Seattle advance that money? Mr. Bonneman, Jerry Bruckheimer, the two main guys out there in Seattle, those guys are deep-pocketed dudes. Bonneman's worth a few $1 billion. Jerry Bruckheimer, I'm sure you guys have heard of him. CSI, Bad Boys, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, he's my man from LA from years, so he's not short of money either. So we're talking about the pandemic, right? That's going to affect your future earnings. It's not going to affect your pocket from the past. So I agree. Get off that wallet, pay that extra money, advance that money ahead of what you're doing for next year, and everybody's happy.
Okay, wait a minute. I understand. So he would advance the money, but ultimately he would get it back? How does that work? Is he out of that money?
No, because the franchise fee, right? So they're going to pay that money, and the last payment would be due, say, next year before they start playing in the league. But now you move those payments up so that everyone gets their money ahead of schedule. It takes that pressure off the current owner so they can meet their payroll and do what they have to do. Because at $650, I'm not sure, the math is about $20 million a piece. I was a math major at Michigan State, but I assume roughly around that, $20 million and change, a piece. So that would help offset the losses, because I can tell you what, a lot of teams are forecasting heavy losses. As you guys could probably imagine, with potentially no fans being in the building. No fans, no parking, no food and beverages means nobody's really happy.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's a lot of money going down the drain. But hopefully, we can weather the storm, and by the springtime, hopefully we get fans in there and some sort of normalcy. But let's keep it local. Let's talk about our hometown New York Rangers. Now, producers, we got a tweet that we want to pull up right here of this very interesting photo that was taken by the New York Rangers official Twitter account walking into the weekend and it's the Rangers are at a healthy advantage at the forward position, and that might be a lineup that we see coming this season. Now, Anson, Ace, you've seen a lot of these Rangers, you've seen a lot of these guys playing, but you haven't really seen this sort of combination with them on the ice. What are your thoughts on the possible forward lineup combination coming up this NHL season when it comes to the Rangers?
I wouldn't mind seeing that combo, to be honest with you. I thought Kakko should have had a chance playing on that big line. The Rangers brought him along slowly. I would have given him a chance and said, hey, kid, Your second overall draft pick, you dominated the world championships against men. You're playing with Mika Zibanejad, who's a rising star, if not a star in the National Hockey League. And you've got the bread man cooking up those nice dishes off the side. Bread man's one of those players that makes any player look good. There's stars and there's superstars. And superstars could take an average player and make him into a star player. That's what the bread man does. And let's not sleep on Mika Zibanejad. Mika would have had 50 goals if we played a full 82-game schedule, and that's missing considerable amount of time with a concussion. So you slot a young player in with them, a player like Kakko that could handle the puck, that's strong on the puck, that's tough to knock off the puck. What does that mean? That means extra zone time in the offensive zone. Extra zone time means an increased amount of chances to score goals and put up points for the red, blue, and white.
Okay, interesting. Lots to be excited about there. Let's switch gears a little bit. The Islanders, Johnny Boychuk is retiring. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal because Johnny Boychuk's a Stanley Cup champion with the Boston Bruins. He brought tons of leadership. He was a heart and soul guy for the New York Islanders. He's the kind of player that Barry Trotz likes on his team. He's a glue guy. He's going to stick up for his teammates. He's going to be tough. He's going to be physical. And he has a bomb from the point. Nobody wants to get in front of that shot. He's shooting down guys in front of the net because everyone knows when number 55 has that puck on the point, you want to get out of the way. I don't care how much courage you have in the National Hockey League. Some guys shoot the puck and it leaves a mark. And Johnny Boychuk is that player. He could score from distance. He could score from far. He could score with traffic in front of the net when the goalie can't see the puck. And he can score when the goalie can see the puck. It doesn't really matter. So he's going to be a big loss to the New York Islanders, especially considering they lost Devon Taves already for the Colorado Avalanche earlier this offseason.
He's one of those guys that you get out of the way. So well said, Ace. All right, it's time for our Coach 'em Up, presented by Honda. The question would be a question that David Quinn will actually face when it comes to the Rangers. Should Alexis Lafreniere play that top line?
Why not? You guys have me playing the top line this morning with Monica and Kaz, so why can't Lafreniere play on the top line?
Because you're the franchise, Ace. You're the franchise.
I'm just along, just trying to get a nut. You know what I'm saying? That's a little squirrel here. But we talked about Kakko last year being brought along slowly at number 2. Well, this kid is a number 1 draft pick, so you have the option of playing with the big guys up front, or you could protect him a little bit, move him down the lineup. Now, if you're playing the third line, or maybe the second line, you're not playing against the other team's top defensive forwards and the top defensive defensemen. So what does that mean? More chances to create offense. So if they see that he's struggling a little bit in training camp or the first 10 games in the regular season, bump him down. It's not about Lafreniere getting 80, 90 points this first year. It's about Lafreniere becoming a franchise player for the New York Rangers for the next 15 years.